What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. As you can see on the screen, I am using the team that I'm using for today's 10 games. I've got a hell of an episode for gameplay for you guys today. I streamed my last 10 games because I was going to stop at Gold 1. I'll explain that in a second. I also want to talk about one of the games that you're going to see and I want to show you why I'm showing you this right here. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had all of these stat cards are from opening packs that I get from the SBCs or from Bronze Pack Method, right? I don't go out and buy stat cards. And one of the comments in one of the videos was, why don't I use them? Like, what are they there for? And there was no good reason why I don't use them. I just, just don't use them. I personally am of the belief that attribute cards should not be allowed in FUT Champions, but they are allowed in FUT Champions, and I've got a whole bunch of them. I don't have many golds or silvers, mostly bronzes. Like, there's only a few golds or silvers. And so I asked in a video, should I use the ones that I've got? Should I use the ones that are there? Like, as long as I don't go out of my way to buy attribute cards to boost my team, should I use what I've got? And the general consensus was yes, they're in the game. It's not illegal to use them. I can use them. I came up against a pro player in one of today's games. He's the German champion. He's been FIWC finalist, and he finished in the top 100 this week. You'll see when I come up against him, and I'll show you exactly what attribute cards I put on against him. After I beat him, because I beat him in this episode, after I beat him, I tweeted out that I beat him because I was happy. I was like, wow, I've just beaten like a pro player, and I didn't just beat him. I beat him. Like, half time I had 70% possession. He had only had one shot. By full time I had 62% possession and controlled the shooting. And so I tweeted out the half-time, full-time stats. A few people asked what the stats were. A few people were questioning whether I went super ultra defensive or part of the bus. I didn't. And if people want to see the whole game, I can upload the full game. I just genuinely outplayed him, right? And I was so happy that I've done such a thing. And he had a super team. Let me say that as well. And I tweeted out that I'd played him and beat him, and I was happy. And then he had tweeted back, and I didn't really realise because I don't follow him or anything. And him and a few other guys that I always see in the top 100 were like basically giving me shit that I had A, attribute cards, which I kind of understand, and B, that I had SBC cards. And I was like, what? Why is having SBC cards something wrong? Like, they're just cards. Like, if anything, like, they're worse than potential cards that I could have, and I literally use them because I've got them and I want to use them. Like, I don't have Kante, I don't have Pogba, I don't have De Bruyne, I don't have Renato Sanchez, I don't have Anthony Martial, like some fan favourites. I've got SBC cards. I've got Diego Costa at midfield, man. Like, I'm not abusing stuff. And I found it really, like, not upsetting that he didn't really like acknowledge my gameplay because I had these attribute cards, but more to the fact that he was kind of mocking the fact that I beat him because I had the attribute cards, as if like I wasn't worthy of beating him. And I sat there and I thought maybe I should ask him, we should play another game. Like, and he wasn't inciting hate or inciting negativity. I want to put that out there. He wasn't trying to be negative. He was just stating his point. He had attribute cards, and he put like those emoticons as if to say he had attribute cards. But two things. So first and foremost, I thought, let me ask him for a game. No attribute cards, and let me just play him. And whilst I was doing that, I thought maybe I should ask him also to not bronze bench, because he had super high rated players, but he only had a 184 rated team. And then I thought, you know what? No, fuck him, and fuck the fact that he's getting upset or angry or using an excuse to add attribute cards and SBC cards. I don't know why SBC cards was a thing, because he bronze benches. Like, it's this, like, if you believe bronze benching impacts you because you don't want to feel handicapped, you're just as bad as me putting attribute cards on, because it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it's definitely like he's using the game mechanics and everything available to his advantage, and I was using everything available to my advantage. So I was just kind of left. I'm a bit gutted that it seems like, although I beat him, and I beat him fair and square, and I took him apart fair, I know a good player when I play one, and I knew he was good, but I demolished him, right? I kind of sat there and I felt like I now have the feeling, and like this gut feeling, that this win just in his eyes and in other pros' eyes or top 100 players' eyes that he was talking to, it just doesn't even count. And I was kind of like, well, that feels shit, if I'm honest. That feels pretty bad, that I worked hard to get that win, And people, like, not even people, because it's just a couple of dudes. It doesn't even mean anything. But people are kind of considering it to just be a non-entity of a win. And I thought, like, I know attribute cards, as I say, I don't believe attribute cards should be in FUT Champs, but I have bronze attribute cards on. They're +5 in one stat. I didn't have gold +10 all attribute cards on that actually give a +15 boost to every stat. I had bronze attribute cards on. I gave Son, like, a pace card, and I gave Walcott, like, a dribbling card, and I gave Emre Can, like, a passing card. And I'm up against, his team was striker Ronaldo, Red Hazard, and Gareth Bale up front. He then had Emmanuel Petit, Paul Pogba, informed Paul Pogba, and informed De Bruyne in midfield. He had informed Kyle Walker, informed David Luiz, Smalling and Shaw in defence, and had Red Lloris in goal. So, like, his team was so good to the point where my bronze stat cards on my players, because my players aren't very great in that sense. They have key attributes with good areas. You know, Walcott has a lot of pace, but his shooting and dribbling lacks. Compared to Bale, like, Bale was a much better card. So even Walcott with that dribbling card still wasn't as good as Bale. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I don't want to say I'm upset, because I'm not upset. I was happy to beat a pro, and I was sitting there thinking, like, well, damn, I've done really well to beat that pro here. I've worked my butt off. I've played a really solid game, and I was, like, overjoyed that I'd beaten someone who's finished this week in top 100, or at least he's very, like, he was high up. He's got 36 wins. He was in top 100 at the time of making this video. There's still 4 hours left, so he might get kicked out yet. But yeah, I'm sitting there and I was thinking, like, yeah, that was awesome. And now I feel like I've had that taken away from me. What do you guys think? Do you think I shouldn't use the attribute cards now? Because, like, a lot of people replied back that didn't know him and knew who I was, saying it is a bit shitty that I used attribute cards. And if that is the thought now, if people don't want me to use these bronze attribute cards that I get, I won't use them. You know, it doesn't. I literally only use them because you guys said that I should use them. Oh, obviously I had the thought in my mind, like, you know, they could be helpful. But as I say, I don't think they do that much to the team. I don't think they boost the team, well, hardly any. Like, literally hardly any, you know. I boost, for example, Hector Bellerin, his physical, and it boosts it to 80 physical. Like, it doesn't. It's not like I'm boosting him to, like, 99 pace, 99 dribbling, 99 defending, 99 physical. It's not quite like that. But anyway, I digress. So that was one thing that I had going on. By the way, I just changed the team up there. I wanted to show that at the end, showing me changing the team. After I scored that goal in the 90th minute, I paused it straight away. I brought my CDM back to centre back and my striker back to centre mid, literally because I knew it was full time and I just didn't want him to score. You can see from the match stats there, he had 2 shots and 2 goals. I didn't want him to score off the kickoff, like, boost or kickoff cheese or whatever. So I purposely put those 2 back to literally fill the 2 gaps that people run into. I wouldn't have done it had it been the 80th minute or something like that. It was simply because it was in the 90th minute and I just didn't want to concede from the kickoff. Coincidentally, as he kicked off, the ref blew instantly for full time anyway, so it didn't even make any shred of difference. Now, I said in yesterday's video I was going to stop at gold 1 today. And my ideal was to stop at gold 1. You know, my idea was literally, like, play to gold 1, play to 28 wins more than to gold 1, because I want as many wins as I can for the elite monthly rewards. And when I get to gold 1, just stop playing. And the reason for that is because this week I wanted the 2 100k packs for Team of the Year, because I want to try and get a blue card. Whilst I was streaming my final games, because as I said, I streamed my last 10 games, and you'll see that video tomorrow. Whilst I was streaming my last 10 games, Bateson and the stream kind of convinced me to play through and try and do as best as I could. And the reason for that is because I actually have a chance of getting top 100 monthly. As long as I have 4 really good weeks, and I've had a good week this week, as long as I have 4 really good weeks, I can potentially get top 100, which would be great. The struggle will be... not opening the Team of the Week pack this week. So, as you probably will know, I played on, and as a spoiler alert, mute this if you don't want to know, I ended up finishing with 32 wins. So 32 wins is good. I'm going to need to get 34 or 35 for a couple of the weeks going forwards if I want to get top 100 monthly, but I've given myself a good shout. And I'm going to earn 100,000 coins instead of 50,000 coins, which is a huge difference. So 50k of that extra 100k pack is there in coins. And I've earned a premium Team of the Week pack, which will give me 3 informs. The problem will be not opening that premium Team of the Week pack this week, because the informs this week aren't going to be amazing. So I want to save it for a week that there is much better informs in. because there'll be no BPL informs this week, and because it's Team of the Year, there'll be no high-rated elite informs. Right? There'll be no Ronaldo, no Messi, no Suarez, no Griezmann, no anyone basically. And Barcelona only drew, so there's no Neymar. And Real Madrid won 5-0, but because Ronaldo can't be there, it's going to be like Isco or James Rodriguez or Casemiro. So it's not players that I'll be happy to pack and sell or happy to pack and play with. It'll just be players that won't really be worth that much. And because of the Team of the Week 16 and Team of the Week 17 packs that are coming, where you're going to be able to use a squad builder to get the untradables of them, there is going to be an abundance of informs from these few weeks, really reducing the price of them again. So with that in mind, I ended up getting to that stage. I'm going to have that premium Team of the Week pack, but I'm going to save it for a better Team of the Week. So we crept our way up to 21 and 5. I was 15 and 5. I was 10 and 5 at one point. I was 10 and 5. And I was like, everyone was hating FIFA, and I was like, God damn, I'm going to have a hell of a weekend. And that was, again, one of the reasons why I was kind of like, let me just get to Gold 1 and just be done with it. I didn't expect to go on a hell of a streak, winning 11 games in a row, ultimately, and in turn, winning 12 games in a row. And this is the game in question. So you can see here the attribute cards that I actually put on. I give Heung-min Son a pace card, bearing in mind he's on 7 chemistry anyway, so it had even less of effect than it quite possibly should have done. So he got a pace boost. I gave to Eden Hazard, I believe, a shooting boost for Eden Hazard, because he's already got really good pace and dribbling anyway. So a shooting boost to Eden Hazard takes him up to 93 shooting. I believe, a dribbling, I give dribbling boost to Theo Walcott. What's game changing about this, man? What's game changing? I gave a physical boost to Emre Can, boosting him up to the 92 physical there. You know, still bad shooting, still bad passing, etc., etc. I give a dribbling boost to Costa, just to help with the dribbling, to help with his agility and balance. I believe, a physical boost to Fernandinho as well. And as you can see, these are the +5 bronzes, man. Like, I think you get +7 on them overall, just because of the coaches, but it's in one stat. Like, I would understand, as I said, if it was like every stat being boosted, but it was one stat. And the way I played the game and the way I handled myself in the game, these attribute cards were not the defining factor of the game, in my opinion. And again, I don't want you guys to have any negative kind of thoughts or attitude towards the player, the pro that I beat, because he isn't inciting any hate or anything. It's more about the comments of the people afterwards that are creating any kind of problems. It was just kind of, from him, it was just kind of laughed off. So that was the attribute cards that I put on. This is his team: striker Ronaldo, Bale, Red Hazard, Red Lloris, informed Pogba, informed De Bruyne. He's got Emmanuel Petit, informed Walker, informed Luis, Chris Smalling, and Luke Shaw. And because that's a 184, he's bronze benched. He is bronze benched. So, you know, he's done something as well to give him a huge boost. I end up stealing the ball in midfield there with Fernandinho, but this was the area that I spent most of the first half. I dominated, absolutely dominated. I end up getting a bit lucky to get the ball back there, and Walcott's dribbling helps him score that one, apparently. So that's 1-0 to me. Theo Walcott with a goal. I got lucky to get the ball in the box, not going to lie. I got lucky to get the ball in the box, and Walcott puts it away. I then gifted him a goal back almost straight after. He goes down the left-hand side with his Eden Hazard. I tackle him perfectly. I get the ball with Smalling. I try and pass it out. I just pass it straight to him, and he plays some nice passing in the box and scores the goal with Ronaldo to equalise. Fortunately enough, just before half-time, or 10 minutes before half-time, I end up getting back in front. Fernandinho doing some good work in the midfield there. Walcott to Costa. Costa sees the run back of Walcott. Get there. I try to pass it to Hazard. I got lucky again to get the ball there, but Son hits a banger across the street, across the goal. And again, I had a pace card on Son. It's not like that affected the ability for him to score. But you'll see the match stats at half-time just here, guys, coming up to you right now. I had 70% possession and in good areas. I can't remember if I actually flick on to show where it's from, but as you can see, I had 6 shots, 5 on target, 2 goals. And they're from good areas. My passing is way better. He just genuinely couldn't touch the ball. He couldn't get the ball off me. And that's not because it's passing around my back line. Look, you can see there on the screen now, my team is the same. It's the same shape. It's all the same. And then late on in the game, he was ultra attacking, trying to get back in. It left a gap in behind. I managed to put it over the top to Raheem Sterling. Shoot, score, boom, 3-1. And that was game over. And again, you'll see at the end of the game here, although he definitely pulled it back in the second half and he put a lot of pressure on me, you know. He went attacking or ultra attacking, high pressure, and I couldn't deal with it. But you can see again by the match stats there, I didn't change formation. I stayed the same. I did everything the same. And I managed to beat him 3-1. I had 62% possession. I had more shots on target. I had better passing, the same amount of tackles, 2 corners each. I don't know how he can feel that with that, as good as his team is, and the fact that he is the #1 German pro player, I don't know how he can really feel comfortable about suggesting that those bronze attribute cards were the difference and the reason why I won that game. I don't believe so. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Mark Oxford says, is it not hypocritical of you complaining about how people complain to you that you shouldn't be playing in the knockout tournaments, it's EA's fault for putting them in the game? Why are you consistently complaining about people who use part of the bus and play anti-FIFA? You complain how there's no proper way to counter the part of the bus, and that's literally the argument you've made for yourself there. There is no way for people to play you in a knockout tournament to counter a much superior player other than getting better at the game. Also, if you use that reason, shouldn't the logic also be applied to you because you got better at the game, you'd also be able to counter part of the bus? Ultimately, you're correct. I wasn't going to address this, but it had so many thumbs up, and it was a lot of comments in the comment section. I play in the knockout tournament because there's no other alternative to play. Like, I don't want to play seasons all the time. There's nothing else to play, so I play in the knockout tournament. And it's not like the counter to beating people in a knockout tournament is being better than them or just playing better than them in that game and winning the game, right? That's the counter to the playing better players. But like, it's crazy if you think that people that aren't very good can win the knockout tournament and then do good in FUT champs, because they can't. They won't do it. My problem, and it feels like you've got two things that are completely separate entities and try to make them the same when they're not the same. Because in my opinion, look at, by the way, this here, I tried to put full power on that throw to set a counter attack up. This is where I let myself down in FUT champs, man. This is why I don't win, why I don't get top 100. What I saw there was a counter attack. There was three guys in the middle, and he had one defender. I could easily have got a counter attack and gone on and won in the 90th minute. So I tried a giant throw of De Gea. Whatever I did wrong, I did something wrong. I ended up throwing it straight to him on the edge of the box. He scored, and I lost that game. I probably deserved to lose that game. He had a lot of shots from really good areas, and I was lucky with my goalkeeping. But I lost that game because I was an idiot with possession. But anyway, with part of the bus, and I've explained this before, and I don't want to have to explain it again, but because this comment has so many thumbs up, it's like people just don't pay attention to the way I perceive things. And that's not to say that I'm right, I just feel like they don't pay attention to the way I perceive it. It's like they instead of listening to what I'm trying to explain to get my point of view across, I feel like they're just hearing me say, I don't like part of the bus. Oh, let me play in a tournament. Oh, get better if you want to be in a tournament. And then think, well, why can't you just get better to be part of the bus? You are entirely right in that outlook. I should just get better at the game. I should figure out a way to beat people who play park the bus. That's on me, and I don't dispute that. My problem is, and I had to explain this on Reddit as well, when you play park the bus, you touch your D-pad 3 times backwards and you'll park the bus. For me to be able to effectively counter that, I have to pause the game, go and change my formation, change all my player instructions and my custom tactics, and manually position my players to a point where I can like face up 1v1 versus your part of the bus. So I've had to waste 1 pause, possibly 2 pauses, because you pressed backwards on the D-pad 3 times. My problem isn't that you play park the bus. My problem is that there's no effective counter to playing park the bus by me just pressing a couple of buttons on the D-pad. When you go part of the bus, I should be able to do something on my D-pad that basically makes my team play with an urgency to press you. So that's my difference. And you're saying like there's no way for people who play you in the knockout tournament to counter a much superior player other than get better at the game. Well, yeah, but that's not just a me thing. That's an anyone thing. If 2 people that aren't qualified for FUT champions are in the knockout tournament, one of them has to win and one of them has to lose. It's not like oh, if NepentheZ doesn't play in knockout tournaments, everyone gets to qualify. Still, only one person at a time gets to qualify. Yeah, there was that. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like I feel like I've over-explained myself many times, and the people that just want to hear what they want to hear will just hear what they want to hear just to be able to take a dig like this. You know, you're basically calling me a hypocrite for something that's not hypocritical because you don't understand the logic. And that for me is not very fair. Like, as I'm saying, like, there is no direct, very quick counter to part of the bus. But for me playing in a tournament, I'm playing in a tournament because there's nothing else to play in other than divisions. And I don't want to play in divisions. And on a weekend like Weekend League now, there's not even a tournament to play in. Like, that's it. Like, you're stuck to divisions. I just think I think both things are an oversight on EA's part. But I think I've explained myself to the point where you can see that I don't necessarily believe it to be hypocritical. I believe it to be logical. That's my opinion. Of course, if you disagree, you disagree. By the way, in this instance, this is another game I lost to some nonsense, and I had the ball with Emre Can down in the left back spot. You can, if you just rewind 10 seconds and watch it again, when I've got possession of the ball, I put 4 bars of power to just try and clear it up the field. And for some reason, he just stands there, like jockeying the ball, even after I've tried to clear it. The opponent steals the ball because Emre Can is now all of a sudden not playing. He ends up scoring a goal and he ended up going to beat me on penalties. So I was really disappointed. 2 of the losses from this episode, I was gutted that I took those losses. But hey, what can you do? That one's... Jensen says I went 17-13 in my first FUT champs. I didn't play the last 10 because I ran out of time. Did I do well? I think that's very well, dude. It's a shame you couldn't have played the 18th and got that win. And Christopher Moran says, and I'm going to try and read this quick. In the last video to the guy who wanted to trade offers for only SBC cards, you said his point was stupid because he was annoyed at the fact that he didn't get Gamiero and needed that at a particular time. You're now annoyed for the first time at the FUT Champs rewards because it doesn't suit you and you think it's unfair. And he goes on to say blah, 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 blah. I'm not annoyed at the first time at FUT Champs rewards. I don't know if you maybe are new to the channel. I'm constantly annoyed at how the FUT Champs rewards are structured. I've said for literally months that they are not structured correctly. And the guy wanted a trade offer back for a week for only SBC cards so that he could get one thing that he wants. I want a permanent change to the FUT Champs rewards to reward the people fairly for what they achieve. I think there's a big difference. He says you think it's unfair of what you get or however many wins you get. You want them to change something for a short space of time so it suits you, just like the person who needed Gamiero at a particular time. I don't understand the difference. And as I say with the difference, I don't want the FUT Champs rewards changed just this weekend because of Team of the Year. I want them permanently changed because I don't think they're fair. I don't think it's right that somebody can finish on 29 wins and get only 30,000 coins less than someone that finishes on 33 wins. Like, that's a huge disparity in wins. To get 29 wins, as I said before, is less than a 75% win rate. And to get 33 wins is like an 82 or an 84 or an 85% win rate. Like, they should be rewarded for winning that many more games. I don't think that's a short-term thing that I want fixed. I've been complaining about the reward structure and how it is for a long time because I think it's just not accurate. I don't think it is like addressed very well. I don't think the rewards are fair for where people finish in the reward structure, and that's my opinion. And as I say, it literally seemed like the SBC dude just wanted an SBC back just to get one card for himself, and that was it. That wasn't for other people to be able to trade and stuff. It was just for him. So for me, the rewards need to be changed for everyone, not just for me to get one extra pack for Team of the Year. Anyway, little bit of a moany episode here, really. I didn't mean it to be a moany one, but I was just a bit frustrated about a few things here the last couple of days. You know, like I feel like people take out of context some of the things that I say to suit a narrative that they want to push. Like, you know, sometimes I say I don't believe in scripting handicap and momentum, which I don't. And then I'll complain about the game being slow and sluggish. And people are like, oh, you're very hypocritical there. You said that it's skill and that the game being slow doesn't matter. And in that sense, yes, like, it is skill still, but the game playing slow is frustrating still. It doesn't take away from the fact that I still don't believe in scripting momentum or handicap. It just means that I don't like it when the game feels sluggish. You know, it's like, so there's been just recently, there's just been a lot of people, excuse me, picking specific sentences or theories that I have and placing them purposely out of context to try and like call me a liar or a hypocrite, etc., when that's not the case. And I feel like people literally just listen to the part that they need to listen to, or just absorb the part that they want to absorb, so then they can turn around and say, well, you said this, but now you're saying this. When, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, you guys could feel differently, it's entirely separate. So I just wanted to use this video just to clear that up, and I was overly triggered by the fact that, you know, the attribute cards and stuff. Like, if people don't want me to use the attribute cards, I won't use them. But they're sitting in my club. They discard for 3 coins each. So if I discarded the 400 or so attribute cards that I've got left, I would get 1,000. Wait, was it 1,200 coins? Yeah, like 1,200 coins, man. Like. Like, I might as well, like, for 1,200 coins, I might as well just use them, or just never use them, you know? So, you guys let me know, you guys decide. Next episode, I'm actually going to chop the live stream up and show it to you guys live, as if it were the live stream, just with the highlights, because it was brilliant. It was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of really, really good gameplay in there, so it'd be awesome for you guys to watch that. And when I say a lot of really good gameplay, I mean a lot of really good gameplay. So it'll be a super long video tomorrow, 2 to 3 hours most likely. So I hope you guys appreciate that. But like I try and be positive in this series. I try and give you guys information that I feel is accurate. I try and give you guys my honest opinion on everything at every time, you know. And yes, my opinions change. The way I feel and the way I think changes based on information that I receive through the different media sources that we have. So if EA did come out and say scripting is actually real, okay, scripting is real. Let me address that then. But in the meantime, because they're saying it's not real, I go on the notion it's not real, and I try then to rationalize why certain things happen. For example, in that game where in the 90th minute I tried to clear it with Chan, I put 4 bars of power on it, and he just didn't do anything. I don't believe that was scripting or handicap or anything. I just believe there was a flaw in the game at that moment. I believe if that was the 60th minute, it would have still happened. If it was the 80th minute, it would have still happened. But because it was the 90th minute, there's so much more like pressure put on it that more people are like, oh my god, 90th minute, the game was out to get you. But then even after that, I was the better player in that game. I still had the whole of extra time to try and win that game, and I failed to do so. And then I could have still won on penalties, and I failed to do so. So even when things go completely against me and could be so easily explained by, well, probably just scripting, EA got me on that one, better luck next time, I don't want to believe that. I would rather learn from the mistake that was made so I can never do the mistake again. For example, on the De Gea throw, which again, if you go back and watch it, I put 4 bars of power on that trying to throw it out. One theory that was like offered was the fact that because I powered it as he was standing up, it didn't register my power until from the moment he was fully stood up, which means it actually probably only got about 1 to 2 bars of power, and that's why I only threw it that far. So if I had waited until he fully stood up and then thrown it 4 bars, it would have thrown it all the way. So now next time I'm in that similar situation, I'm going to wait until he gets fully up, and I'm never going to make that mistake again. So if it is scripting or momentum or handicap, I've now found exactly what the issue was. I can correct the issue going forward. It will never happen for me again. So whatever that script was or handicap was, I fixed that. So that's never going to happen again. Unless, again, I create the problem. Unless it's my fault and I make another mistake. And I make a lot of mistakes in games. I get super lucky sometimes, both offensively and defensively. But I make a lot of mistakes in games, man. And it's on me to eradicate those mistakes to try and get the 35 plus wins each week. But as I say, I don't like to post out these kind of videos that are a little bit whingy and whiny at all. But I felt like it was necessary to address some of the things that had been, you know, continually brought up. Because if it's one here or there, I can ignore it. But when it's so many things all in one day, I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. You know, let's have a discussion about it. And if you guys want to, tell me what you think. Tell me what you feel. Tell me if you feel I'm right. If you feel I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. I've always encouraged you guys to question me and to like, you know, point me out where I'm going wrong, so that I can hopefully guide you to where I'm mentally coming from. Because when I'm making a video, I only have a set amount of time, and I've run over the amount of time on this video by a long way. So you're going to be looking at my team screen for about probably 6 to 8 minutes at this stage. And when I'm like, I've got so many things I want to say, and a specific way to say them, that sometimes I just get them in the wrong order or muddled up. And sometimes I'll be half saying something and thinking about something else, and you'll be like, wait, what? You just said this and now you're saying this. But it's like, it's so hard to explain quickly and in detail the context of which I want you to understand what I'm explaining. But anyway, this is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.